Hello, everyone. Welcome to this quick introduction to the ArcGIS Online platform. So where do we start? We start by opening any browser. So whether it be Google, Mozilla, Internet Explorer, Edge, whichever browser it is that you would like to utilize, you open the browser, and we're going to commence by typing in www.arcgis.com. Oops, I missed a W there. So here we come to the ArcGIS welcome page. So it gives a brief overview that it's a part of Esri's geospatial cloud, and it enables you to connect with people, locations, data using interactive maps. Now, in order to log in, I go to sign in. And when I go to sign in, it automatically brings up for me my login credentials because I have set it as keep me signed in. So my login credentials are there in terms of my username, also my password, or if you have your ArcGIS organization's URL, you can put it in here. For us, it would be, well, for Jamaica's government employees, it will be goj.maps.arcgis.com. And we can continue. So in putting that in, it then says sign into the government of Jamaica with, and it gives my credentials because I already have an account. So I'm going to sign in. It's going to automatically direct me to the organization page tab, but I'm going to go to the home page first. And at the home page, I'm seeing that it says Government of Jamaica, right? And it has a number of toolbar tabs that are at the top there: home, gallery, map, scene, notebook, groups, content, and organization. At the top right hand corner, I'm seeing my information, my name and my user name. If I click the drop down, it gives me options in terms of setting up my profile, my settings, going to my Esri to get additional access in terms of functionalities, resources. It can give me access to training that's available on Esri's platform, training platform. I can access community and forums, ArcGIS blogs, and help. Right? Let me start by going to my profile. It's always wise when you have an account to set up your profile. Assign a photo, give a little bio of yourself, set in terms of visibility, whether you want your profile to be visible privately or within the organization or to everyone. And then, depending on the groups that you're within, it will give you information as to all the groups that you're a part of, right? And the content associated with these groups. So that is your profile. So always recommend that you take a little time to just fill in your profile information, all right? And you can also view your settings. All right, so that was profile. I'm gonna go to organization. And as an administrator, there are various privileges in terms of access that an administrator has as a role. As an administrator, I'm able to get a quick overview of the account, how many users there are, what's happening in terms of the credit allocation for the platform, in terms of the subscription, which users have activated their accounts or not, when last they were active, and it automatically assigns last login, so I can see who signed in last versus who has never signed in at all, right? And with that, there are various roles, administrator being the highest, data editor, publisher, user, viewer are the various roles that can be assigned. There are also various licenses that can be assigned to the ArcGIS Online accounts. So pro licenses and other licenses that are subscription based can be assigned by an administrator to your account once the request is made and approved. Apart from that, an administrator can keep track of the status with respect to the platform in terms of credit allocation, how many credits are available, the usership of the credits over the past the past week versus the last month, versus in entirety. So that's credits. In terms of credits, how much is being used for storage versus analytics, subscriber content, published content. So a lot of the credits here is being used for storage. Right, so I can see that, we can see that. In terms of content, the content that's available, or that is not available, but is stored on the platform by the various users, we can quickly also see that. So whether sharing is with public, private, organization, or with the group, we can see that most of the data that is there is privately shared. It's privately owned and not shared. All right. Some is made public, some is organization based, and so apart from private, the second most is within groups that content is being shared on under this particular subscription. There are various apps that would have been created by the various users. All right, and it's saying here that most of those apps will be configurable apps. All right, different from custom apps that have been generated and the use of web app builder. All right, so we can see in terms of usage, registered users, and usage over time in terms of apps and logins and all of that with respect to these apps. Where membership is concerned, I can see in terms of where I fall in terms of my membership, in terms of my status, in terms of role. Plus I can also see in terms of logins and apps and total number of users, total member accounts versus active members that are available on the platform, that are currently on the platform. And then there are the various groups that are over 500 groups currently here, right? And 5% of the group are owned by 5% of the users. Yeah, so I can see that in terms of what is shared publicly, that most of the groups, they are private. Yeah, not public, to a lesser extent, public and organization based. Okay. So that is organization. With organization, let me go back to organization again. With organization also, here is where the administrators are able to assist you with respect to items such as creation of accounts. So under members, we can invite members. We can invite them without sending invitations. We can add them and notify them via email, which is what we primarily do. Or we can invite them to join using an account of their choice. Now, we can either invite individual members or from a file. Primarily, organizations request the generation of accounts from multiple members. And so we usually share a form with them for them to fill out and provide us with details with respect to the first name, last name, email address, username, and the role of each user. So whether the user is going to be a viewer, user, whether they're going to be a publisher, a data editor, we require this information for every user that an organization requires an account to be set for, right? And then we go through the process of all the various steps to generate these various accounts for the organizations to use, all right? So that is with respect to members. Now gallery is another tab. So we've gone through home, we've gone to organization, we now come to gallery. Gallery is where we're able to see and access the various types of content that's available under this particular subscription in terms of this wider organization. So there are maps, there are also layers, there are scenes, there are various apps, there are various tools, and listing goes on in terms of content that has been generated. So they have been authored and they have been published. And so they are here. So whether it's a case whereby they're shared within groups or shared with the wider organization or publicly shared, they can be accessed via gallery, depending on what use, what accessibility role you have. All right, so that's gallery. With map, map is where, let me go to content and then I'll come back to map. Content is where you see all your content. So it automatically goes to my content. Then there are contents that are available according to your group. So what is available in the groups that you are in, different from available in your organization in terms of content. Right? Importantly, whenever it's a case whereby you would like to create content of some form, and the content that you're creating, whether it's going to be a feature layer or a tile layer, all right, or a locator, so you can create layers or more, or you can create apps. And these apps vary from configurable apps, web apps, story maps, dashboards, sites, experience, etc. There are various apps that you can create by from within content going to create. Apart from that, you can go to your top right hand corner and you can select the drop down to then access the quick launch in terms of various apps that you can generate. Right? So whether it be to create a story map or whether it be to create a survey 123 map or a dashboard, etc., you can access from there, or we can go to create and we can create from there. So that's your content. And with content, we can view them as table, as here, we can view them as list, we can view them as grid, right? Depending on the content that is there. So list, also as grid. All right, so that's content. So you've determined that you'd like to create a map. Where do you do this? You go to the map tab, and with that, it opens up this window that allows you to create your own map. You do not need to be a GIS professional to create a map. You just need to know what information it is that you would like to be able to communicate. First, you need to know what is your area. So what is the area that you're interested in? Is it the entire Jamaica? Is it a particular area within Jamaica or another country? Yes? So you determine what will be the base map that you'll be choosing, whether you need imagery as your base, all right? Or whether you just need topography as your base. You determine, do you need imagery with labels? You determine what will be your base map. So you choose your area, you determine your base map, you determine what you want to show. Yeah, which is why we've chosen a base map. You also determine what layers you want to show on top of that. So are these layers that you already have stored somewhere on your computer, for instance, on your server, for instance? Do you need to access these layers from another source? Can you access them? And where will you store them? Or can you pull them in using a web service into this map? You determine, right? Then you're going to add more to your map as the need arises, right? Labels and map notes and other information. You're going to be adding descriptive information, images, charts, whatever it is that makes your map effective in communicating whatever it is that you would like to show. Is this sufficient as just a map, or do you want to create it, convert it into a web application with specific tools that will make it highly effective in being able to be utilized by particular persons that you've assigned to a particular group? So you're going to save your map, you're going to share it. We're going to share it as a web map, we're going to share it as a web mapping application. You so do, all right? By the third webinar in this series, Mr. Williams will guide us through how to create these maps. What are the various ways and means of creating maps within the ArcGIS Online or on the ArcGIS Online platform? So we look forward to that, all right? Now, apart from that, there's scene. So working as 2D, we go to maps, but we may want to work in 3D, right? And here is where scene comes into place, where we can work in 3D, visualize new developments or visualize trails or do walkthroughs or virtual tours or whatever it is that is going to be 3D in nature. You use My Scene. You use scenes to do that, and you create your own scene. All right, good. So I'm going to go and I'm going to access the Survey 123 application. ArcGIS Survey 123. So there are various surveys, and this is a very powerful tool of which, as long as you need to capture data or information from a variety of persons, you can create a survey, send it to them. It has a location component, and you can glean or garner whatever info you need from them, and then this can be readily analyzed by the platform, and then whatever information provided to you. So here's a quick survey that would have been created. Right. It has a design, yeah, which would have been done. This was a registration form. The various types of questions that would have been done. And the analysis of this in terms of who responded would have produced certain results. So produce them as bar graphs, column or bar graphs, or word or pie charts. So there are various ways of presenting information that is captured using the surveys. Additionally, there are other very useful apps such as creating story maps, where you can create a new story map. Yeah, you can start a story, right? And you can create your own story map. Pulling on URLs, you can insert your own maps. You can create maps, insert them in there, insert pictures, insert videos, whatever is useful in communicating your story about a particular topic can be done using story maps. All right. Apart from story maps, there are other important apps that are there. Dashboards is another very, very useful, highly effective way of communicating information visually. It has a significant visual appeal and impact. So we can create dashboards, filling in title, tag, summary, folder, create a dashboard, configure the dashboard to show particular information and to pull in data from various sources and to project same in one interface. So by the second webinar, Ms. Poyser will be carrying us through how to configure dashboards, so the various types of dashboards, the various type of templates that can be used to develop different dashboards. So she'll guide us through how to configure these dashboards to show particular information. So the various indicators that can be utilized in a dashboard. So we'll be learning about that. What are these various types of indicators and how can they effectively communicate this information, whatever information it is that we would like to communicate. So this was just a quick overview of ArcGIS Online, the platform. And before I forget, let me go back up here and let me go to training and let's explore what's happening in terms of access to training resources that Esri has. So I've gone to esri.com/training and I have accessed for ArcGIS Online. I've typed in ArcGIS Online and these are the courses that are coming up for it. So I'm seeing here that there is a wide array of courses to get started using ArcGIS Online, right, that I can draw from, whether they are paid courses that are instructor-led, whether they require maintenance, or whether they are free, right? So please do go and explore and see what's available. If you do not possess an ArcGIS Online platform and you fall within this organization, which is Government of Jamaica, please do reach out to us so that we can assist you in obtaining an account. Please note that this would, however, need to be done through whoever is your primary rep from your organization who will be making the request on your behalf. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm hoping that your appetite has been whet in terms of the platform and what's available. So please do explore, explore, explore. I thank you.